So finally, Bob Shaw, who was chairman of Shaw Industries and founded Shaw Industries, a lifelong friend of mine, and I were talking. He was aware of what I was interested in, and he asked me one day, he said, what are you doing? I said, well, Bob, we finally reached a determination as to what we had to do, and that is we've got to get some teachers from Mexico or somewhere in Latin America to come up here and work in our schools. Because these kids, I mean, you could bring an Anglo-Spanish speaker, but they're not of the same culture. And that cultural aspect is absolutely a dynamite thing. And he said, well, you know, I've got a partner down in Monterrey, Mexico, who's he's connected with some school down there. Would you like for me to contact him? I said, go get it. and to his everlasting credit, I don't think that Bob's partner was all that enthusiastic about it, but I think Bob was very tenacious and stayed after it. And finally, out of the clear blue, I got a letter written by Dr. Victor Zuniga from the University of Monterrey that told me that he had been designated as the Mexican director of the Georgia Project. Not our name, it was their name. And that he wanted to begin communicating with me. And that started a communication, and that was back about 1995. And we, or 94. Anyway, I think we kept saying, you've got to come up here and see what this situation is. He'd say, you come down here. I said, no, it's not down there, it's up here. This is where this has to be addressed. You come down there, you come down to us. And so finally, they prevailed, and I took the superintendent of schools, the chairman of the Board of Education, a teacher too, and some of the people that were working with me, and we went down and met with people at the University of Monterrey. The first day that we got there, they put us in a little room to meet. It was half the size of this office. And we had a good meeting. And so we got a call the next morning at the hotel to say, okay, we're changing locations. We came to, it was about 3 times as large and about 3 times as many people. By the third day, we went almost a ballroom of folks at the university was listening to what we had to say. And one of the folks that I've continued to work with, who's now a professor at the UCLA, and written a number of books about the Georgia Project, I asked him, I said, Hernandez, tell me, why is it that you all insisted that we come down here rather than you all coming to Dalton? He said, we wanted to find out if you were real. Mm-hmm. And said, we have. And so just a couple of 3 weeks later, they came to Dalton, and the project was well underway. And the funniest thing is the folks down at the University of Monterrey, I think they felt that the carpet industry was going to fund us and pay the bill. Of course, the carpet industry hadn't promised us any money at all. No one had promised us any money. But we had done this elaborate planning, and we had a plan in force that we were going to put into operation the fall of 1996, and we didn't have one dime to fund it. And this was the spring of 96. Well, this is, and you know, this is an oral history, and there's no need of an old man not telling you the truth. Out of the blue, the city of Dalton, composed of 5 folks, and I kid them, they were all bright and intelligent, but I could say here, you got 5 fellows who can't speak good English. say, look here, we're going to give the Georgia Project $750,000 over a 3-year period to get you off the ground. And that was just like manna from heaven. And believe me, we had kept them informed as to everything. We kept the whole community and the newspaper. This is why I have such respect for being open and with the news media to let people know what's going on. That they came to our aid, and we got that $750,000. Plus, we got another $500,000 from the federal government. Plus, we began to get through Mac Cleland and Paul Coverdale federal funding. And we continued to get it to a lesser degree through Johnny Isaacson and Saxby Chambliss till it got to be such a hot issue that it just ran its course in the muddy.